this very hot day on very short notice. We've all known that there's been rumors of the Jarvis lanes being removed, but we had no idea when or how quickly or with such little consultation. Why don't you all come in a bit? Because I can't, it's just a little speaker and I'm on a very flimsy stage that could fall down like the Ottawa show. And we don't have a show, so I just gotta be careful here. Come on in, come on closer. Amazing how many people here. Thank you so much. Can you hear me at the back? Yeah. Amazing. There's a helicopter. Can you hear me? Amazing. Councillor Paula Fletcher is here. Let's have a round of applause for her. Andrea Garcia is here, the Executive Director of the Toronto Cyclists Union. Round of applause for her. As you can see, the bike lanes are still there. As you can see, we have one city councillor who's here. We need 22 more between now and whenever to change that vote so we can ride on the street safely. I just want to start by saying that transportation planning does not have to be a process of polarization. It does not have to turn the city into a war between bikes versus cars, or between downtown versus the suburbs. There's a word that most of us learned in kindergarten called sharing. Sharing is a very simple process. This is how sharing works. If I have an ice cream cone, and Andy wants some, and I want some, we don't have to fight over it. We can both have some of the ice cream cone. It's called sharing. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have right behind us on Jarvis Street is an example of sharing. Pedestrians have 2 sidewalks, cyclists have 2 bike lanes, and cars have 4 lanes designated for them. It's working for everyone. It's called sharing. Is called a complete street, and complete streets bring people together instead of dividing them. City Hall is trying to divide us, and we're not going to play that game. There are people who have said we shouldn't be here, that we're fighting the wrong fight, that the current plan is actually a net gain, and they put forward a few arguments that I want to quickly dismantle one by one. Number one, we've been told that this bike lane is redundant because there's a bike lane over there. Well then, why do the cars need to be over there if they can just drive over here? There's no such thing as a redundant bike lane because people bike on every single street in Toronto and they all deserve the same space.
Here, here.
We've also heard a lot about the environmental assessment report, that the EA didn't recommend bike lanes. Well, actually, there was a recommendation in there to look at bike lanes, and the main thing the EA report did recommend is not to have the 5th middle lane, to pull it out. They're being very selective as to which parts of the EA report they like and which parts they choose to ignore. Number 3, they talk about the bike plan. The Jarvis bike lane isn't in the bike plan. Well, that's funny, because you know which 2 streets are in the bike plan? Birchmount and Pharmacy. They don't seem to care about that. That we're getting something better for losing something. There's no such thing as trade-offs when it comes to safety. We are almost 10 years behind implementation of the bike plan, which promised us 1,000 kilometers under Mel Meslin. It was supposed to be done this year. We can't afford to move backwards on any street in the city because we deserve a safe place to ride our bikes. About respecting taxpayers. How many people here feel respected by losing a bike lane?
No!
I do want to be respected as a taxpayer. This isn't about partisanship. This is not about how we feel about Rob Ford or anyone on City Council. It's about how we feel about the sensation of biking safely on our streets in Toronto. It's about whether or not we believe in democracy. It's about whether or not we believe in sharing. It's about whether or not we're prepared to stand up for our rights and our safety on our streets in our city.
Yeah.
But we know there's a lot of stereotypes around cyclists, that we're reckless and we're selfish and we break the rules. So we have to be careful here. We need to be bold, but not confrontational. We need to be firm, but not aggressive. We can even be angry, but not reckless. And I encourage you to remember that as we go out on this ride today. We can challenge what's happening here. I'm personally prepared to put my body down. If the trucks ever come out to take out these lines, I'll put my body down in front of those trucks. Who else?
Oh yeah!
But when we do that, if we do that, we don't yell at people, we don't swear, we don't hit people, we're not against anyone. And we're definitely not against the police who are here to help us today. We're going to have an There's marshals in orange shirts. There's about people. Marshals, put your hands up. Orange shirts. They're going to keep you where you're supposed to be. We're not going to cross into oncoming traffic. Please obey the folks who are here to help you, whether it's the police or the folks in the orange shirts. I'm going to give the microphone to Paula Fletcher. She'd like to say anything quickly. We also have Councillor Layton here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming last week to City Council. I was very glad to see you all there. There's somebody with their jazz hands, thank you. Very happy to see you all there, but I was very sad that City Council in Toronto voted for the first time ever to remove bike lanes in our city. And I think we have to ask Council to rethink their decision, because as many people pointed out, bike lanes make it safe for cyclists, but they also make them safe for car drivers who are driving with cyclists on the same road. That's the message. It's about safety for everybody sharing the road. And I have to say, I came here on bike lanes. I was on Shooter, I was on Dundas, I was on the Gerrard Bridge. That's how I travel around my city. And I like to travel safely. It allows me to ride my bike. And that's why I think City Council has to reconsider a decision to remove transportation corridors for those who cycle in our city. And I know you'll join us when we go forward to ask them one more time, reconsider your vote. Thank you very much.
When I say Jarvis, you say bike lane. Jarvis!
Bike lane! Bike lane! Bike lane!
All right, well, I've been told that I should be brief, and with the heat up here, I think I kind of want to get back on the road and get some wind in my slowly depleting hair. So just very quickly, I was just in a meeting with Councillor Kristen Wong-Tam, the local councillor for the neighborhood. She wishes to be here, but she's there fighting cuts to child care spaces, fighting cuts to grants to community organizations, and we need her at that committee here today. So I just wanted to come, bring greetings from her, and then go through some of perhaps the stats we got here. There are those at City Council that think that the 900 cyclists that take this road every day don't matter, that they're not taxpayers. That minute longer it takes for a car to traverse the road here, that'll be taken away or negated by one little change in light, is enough to spend $100,000, $200,000 taking away our bike lanes. And I just say that's not enough. That's not good enough. That's not a good enough reason to do that. And there are those in City Hall that want to take huge steps backwards in how we deliver safe cycling infrastructure, because they don't seem to care about the 1,000 collisions that we get with cyclists on our roads every year and the dozens of fatalities that we've had. They don't seem to care about that. But that's not good enough. And the 1,000 people here, I don't know if we have a count yet, but the people here know that. And that's why we're taking it to the streets. So thank you all for coming on this hot, muggy day. Thank you all for coming when you'd rather be at home, when you'd rather be on a patio. Respectful of the road, but they want their space.
Now, a few quick words from the Director of Membership of the Toronto Cyclists Union. Members, hands up. Who's a member? Okay, Jared Kolb. Wow, this is incredible. What a sight. Four nations say hello to Bike Nation. We are the Toronto Cyclists Union. We are Toronto's largest cycling advocacy organization. And we're here, we put on this ride tonight for the community, for everyone, to send a message back to the Ford administration. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. What I want to tell you tonight is that over the last 2 months, we've added 300 members. Our membership roster. But we can't stop there, and we can't do it without all of you. So tonight, we're going to offer you our $30 membership for $20. We want every single one of you to sign up as a Bike Union member. Search for someone in a Bike Watch t-shirt. Search for them here, search for them at the end of the ride. Hand over $20. Open up your wallets. We need to expand the Toronto Cyclists Union. We need to make it strong. We need to continue to make it diverse. So please, join the Toronto Cyclists Union.
Hi everyone. Can you hear me okay in the back?
Louder.
Is this better?
Yeah. Closer to your mouth.
So my name is Andy and I'm the Director of Advocacy for the Toronto Cyclists Union. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. So for those of you who don't know us, like Jared said, we are the city's only member-based cycling advocacy organization working hard to improve the conditions for cyclists in the city. Lately, this job has become very, very hard. Last week was a huge disappointment for cycling in Toronto. The Ford administration sent a strong signal that people in cars matter more than people on bikes. Last week, Mayor Ford chose to ignore the facts and the community while making decisions based on an ideology that bikes don't belong on arterial roads. He chose to spend $500,000 from an already cash-strapped budget to remove brand new infrastructure. And now, as most of North American cities move forward by adding kilometers to their bike networks, our city is taking a step back in the movement toward public safety. So let's send the message back. Today, we're here to introduce Ford Nation to Bike Nation. Tonight is not just about Jarvis. Last week, we lost bike lanes in Scarborough, on Pharmacy Avenue and Birchmont Road. DuPont was shortened. This is unacceptable. No matter how hard Rob Ford tries to make things worse for cyclists in Toronto, every year we have more and more cyclists on the road. Sooner or later, this city will need to change course and Rob Ford will be on the wrong side of history. So tonight, we're not just riding for Jarvis, we're riding for Pharmacy, we're riding for Birchmount, we're riding for DuPont, and we're riding for Toronto. So, thanks everyone for putting up with all our speeches. We're going to be making our way out of the park right here by the Bixby station. We have a group of police escorts. Please follow their lead, as well as the lead of all of our marshal in orange shirts. We'll be heading north on Jarvis, eventually swinging down, coming back south on Jarvis to Queen and ending at City Hall. I hope you guys have a great time on this fun family ride today.